Hi everyone, this is Heather Lottinen from the Flourish.Academy. This is episode 502. My family and I just returned home from a vacation. We were gone for about a week and a half. We took a road trip from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to Destin, Florida. Yes, we drove for approximately 85,000 hours on the road. Yes, we know airplanes exist. We do this for fun, for the adventure, and I think because I like to torture myself as my kids fight in the back seat the entire time. But I learned something interesting on this trip, or at least I had an epiphany about why we care so much what other people think when we share our photos. So for years, I have been taking video or doing some vlogging of our family life. I have a personal YouTube channel. If you're interested in things like homestead life and chickens and Jesus and what it's like to live in a multi-generational home, my parents live with us, then go check out Homestead Heather on YouTube. I don't have a ton of recent videos. There are a few. Mostly they're a little bit older, and that's because as my daughter entered high school, she was a little reluctant for me to share these videos because she didn't want people from school seeing our lives. And I have to respect that, of course. So I would take video on, and you can see our past vacations on the YouTube channel. I take these vlogs, I take short video clips throughout the day, and then I put it into one video that I post at the end of the day. And it's just how I keep track of our memories from our vacations. It was never anything to do, that channel isn't monetized. I don't make money from it. It was just something to capture our memories for the future because I enjoy video. But okay, so she requested on this vacation that I don't share these videos, but I still wanted to create them. So I did, but something interesting happened. I was creating these videos without any worry or concern about you viewing them or my friends or anyone else. So as a result, I noticed that I was approaching it a little bit differently with more, I was more open. I wasn't as reserved. I wasn't thinking through what I was going to say or what the video was going to look like. I didn't care if I had makeup on, if my hair was done, or how I looked. I just documented our lives because I wasn't worried about the fear of judgment because no one is going to see these videos. They are on YouTube. They're unlisted. You can't find them. They're just for us so that we can remember our vacation. I also started thinking back to when I used to photograph for an organization called Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep. If you're familiar with them, then you know that photographers volunteer to take photos of babies who are either stillborn or have critical diseases that will not sustain life. We go into the hospitals, we take these photos. No one will ever see these photos. They're just for the family. And I would approach those sessions differently as well. You know why? Because I wasn't trying to impress you. I was just trying to document something for these parents. And the truth is, some of these parents will never even look at these photos. I've talked to people years later who've lost an infant, and they have said, some of them have said, I don't look at the photos. I'm just happy to know that I have them. Some people told me I didn't look at the photos till 5 years later when I felt like I could emotionally digest that. So again, it has a different feeling to it because we're not worried about what other people think. So the reason you're concerned with sharing your photos is because you're so worried that when you post it on social media, someone is going to judge these photos or have something to say about you. But what would it feel like? I just want you to imagine for a second, what would it feel like if you were taking photos just for you? If it's just your family, just for you. Not with the intent to share or say, hey, look at me and look at these beautiful photos I took, but just for you. Or what if you were taking photos for a client that no one would see except that client? I have a few clients who are extremely private. They've asked for their photos not to be shared on social media. Again, I respect that. And it's just interesting how my mind or my mindset or how I feel when I'm taking those photos versus when I'm taking photos of a very high profile event or wedding. There's a different pressure because we're worried about what other people think. The point is, does it even matter? Should we even care what other people think? If you could just get in your head for a second, or maybe out of your head for a second, and think, what if I were taking these photos and no one saw them? They're just for me or they're just for the client. If you happen to post them and share them on social media, that's great, but that's not the intent. How would it feel? Or maybe you could photograph your own children and think to yourself, I'm just doing this for us. I'm just doing this to create a legacy for my family, and it doesn't matter what other people think or what they have to say on social media. I just really felt so much more free as I was taking video this week on our vacation, knowing that no one was ever going to see it except for our family. It was very interesting. I thought, okay, so what is preventing me from doing this if people were going to see the video? Is it pride? Is it because I want you to look at me or think of me a certain way? The answer is yes, of course it is. But how could I get out of my head and just say, okay, what would it feel like if I was just doing this for myself or just my client? Because ultimately, isn't that the point? Shouldn't the point or the focus be on your client? If you are worried what other people are going to think, you are 100% focused on yourself because you're worried about that judgment. If you want your client to look good, well, that's different. Are you focused on your client and what they think? And that should be all that matters, because more often than not, our clients love their photos more than we do, meaning we have these kind of higher expectations and the clients are like, I love them, and they're happy with them. So why can't that be enough? Why worry about what other people are going to think on social media? It's just some food for thought on Monday. I hope that you found this useful. I'll see you in the next video.